Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So don't forget to subscribe, and hit that bell icon. So yes, what is the difference between arousal and sexual attraction? What does arousal mean to asexuals? Do they get aroused? Do they experience it? And if so, what does it feel like? We'll dive in deep in this episode to different asexual perspectives about arousal versus sexual attraction. So let's get stuck in. This is going to be a dive into some of the stories and asexual perspectives book. Don't forget you can get this book on Amazon. So yeah, I'm excited to share this with you. So, do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? This is Adelaide's story. I think they are different, but as I do not feel either, I do not feel qualified to comment on it, which I think is fair enough. So yeah, some people just don't experience any arousal or sexual attraction. They're asexual. They're completely devoid of all that type of thing. So some people think that everyone experiences sexual attraction. They don't. Oh, Anarch, nice to see you. Lots of love to you. So lovely to see you. So, Jamie James's story. Do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? Sexual attraction is liking the look of someone, and arousal is getting turned on by someone. Again, one is looking at and the other is participating in. Very interesting. Do you agree with that? Not everyone gets turned on by someone. You can get turned on by something. But yes, I don't know if turned on's exactly the word either in every single case. Anarch, I was about to go to bed, laugh out loud, but I figured I'd pop up for a second. I think sexual attraction arousal may be linked, but they're not the same. Oh yeah, it's 6:25 a.m. in the UK, and I haven't been to sleep yet when I'm and I'm still up and lively as usual. And I thought, oh, I got to stream before I go to sleep. So there we go. It's nice to see you. You think arousal and sexual attraction are linked, but they're not the same. I know that. It's 1 a.m. for you. Wow. Gosh, you're like 5 hours and 25 minutes behind me then. It's morning here. Anyway, without further ado, where am I? Fiora's story. Do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? No, I don't think they're the same. Or at least not for asexuals. Aces can be aroused by someone, but it's just a physical response and not connected to any sort of desire for the person they're aroused by. I much more relate to Fiora's story in that sense. Because for me personally, I do get aroused, but I experience zero sexual attraction and I experience zero sexual desire. I don't experience desire or sexual attraction, but I do get aroused sometimes to do with kissing. But that doesn't have to involve anyone. It can just be me thinking about kissing and kissing myself. So sometimes I get aroused by things I wish I didn't get aroused by, which is super annoying. Adair, do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? I think a person can be aroused without being sexually attracted to another person. Arousal is a physical response to stimuli to prepare for copulation. It can happen whether or not you want the person you're about to engage with. So, yeah, I think it can be a physical response, but it doesn't have to be a physical response. You can get aroused just by thinking about something with no physicality, no touching involved whatsoever. But I totally agree that it can happen whether or not you want the person you're about to engage with. So I don't get a want for sex with the person, even if I get aroused by kissing them, just doesn't make me wanna have sex. I'm aroused for the kissing, I'm not aroused for them. I just like the kissing, do you know what I mean? So, I think it's a very interesting topic. I have looked into a little bit the fact there's, like, 3 different types of arousal. You can get mental arousal, emotional arousal, and physical arousal. So there we go. Some people believe it's all just physical, which actually isn't true. So, do you think sexual attraction and arousal are the same or different? Definitely different. Similar to the difference between sexual attraction and sexual desire, you can feel sexually aroused without needing to feel sexual attraction. Many, if not most, asexuals can feel sexual arousal, aka libido, but still not have sexual attraction, or at least that's my understanding. Arousal is a physical thing, whereas sexual attraction I've always seen as more of a mental thing, although with a physical element, probably. I would have to disagree a bit with this because sexual arousal, aka libido is sex drive, but you can be aroused without having a drive for sex whatsoever, without having a libido. You can still be aroused. So, yeah, you can still be aroused in your genitalia without having a sex drive. So when they put feel sexual arousal, aka libido and sexual arousal could be 2 different things. And arousal is a physical thing. Like I said, it's not always physical. It usually produces a physical response. But it can be brought on by mental images or mental thoughts or mental feelings. It doesn't have to be physical stimuli. So yeah, but I get arousal, but I get 0 libido. I don't even like to call my arousal sexual arousal. I just call it arousal, but it's sexual in the sense it involves genitalia. Arousal does. So there we go. Thomas, do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? Sexual arousal, while different from sexual attraction, does share characteristics with sexual desire. Both indicate a hormonal need to procreate, which most asexuals, either by choice or by biology, lack. Well, I lack any notion of procreation. I mean, I'm simply not interested in it, and I don't have the feelings or wants or desires for it. And I can get aroused, but it's nothing to do with procreation or wanting kids or anything like that, because I'm simply not interested in it. I've known since 15 years old I don't want kids. So there we go. And Marnie's story. Do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? Different. You can be aroused by thoughts. I agree on that. But sexual attraction is being sexually attracted to someone. I agree with her. I totally agree with her on that. That's pretty much where I come from. I can be aroused by thoughts, but I'm not actually sexually attracted to anyone. So, yes. And Andy P's story. Do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? In this case, I do think these differ and kind of care about them. I think of sexual arousal being a bodily response, while sexual attraction involves some kind of understanding of sexual compatibility, with at least some interest involved. I think a prime example of the first, which was sexual arousal, is the way assault victims, trigger warning, can oftentimes feel sexual arousal. Naturally, it's not their fault, but a bodily response that they have no real control over. So, yeah, sometimes my body does arousal stuff with imagery that I really wished I'd never seen, and it's so annoying because I'm not sexually attracted to anyone, but my body can have involuntary responses to certain stimuli. It's really annoying. Because I don't like seeing any of that. So yes, super annoying. Isadora's story. Do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? I think attraction leads to arousal, but arousal doesn't lead to attraction. I may get sexually aroused because my hormones are acting up, but it doesn't lead me to want sex with someone. I get aroused and it doesn't make me want to have sex with someone, and it doesn't lead me to down that path, even if I'm kissing a guy for 3 or 4 hours. So I would tend to agree with her. I think sexual attraction probably does lead to arousal, but arousal doesn't necessarily lead to sexual attraction, not for asexuals anyway. I think arousal makes sexuals want sexo, whereas it's not the same for asexuals that are pure asexuals. Do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different, Anne? I think arousal as somewhat different from attraction in that arousal has a greater physiological presence, while sexual attraction tends to be subtler in terms of its effect on human behavior. Very interesting. So, what do you think about that? Do you think arousal is more, well, is more present than sexual attraction? Do you think sexual attraction is subtler in terms of its effect on human behavior? I'm not sure that it is. Because sexual attraction is basically what loads of people do on dating sites. They see a picture of someone, but then it's sexual desire as well, because they see a picture of someone and think, I'm sexually attracted to her, I want to have sex with her. It's sexual attraction towards a specific person based on their looks. 5 Mark 2 end story. Do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? Different, at least slightly. I believe that sexual arousal is being aroused in some formal shape, such as thinking of a scene a person would like, seeing something they like, etc. Whereas I believe sexual attraction is to find someone sexually attractive, to think about a sexual scene with just them. I understand where this person's coming from. Yeah, like some people can get aroused by senses, by smell and taste and sound and things like that. So arousal doesn't have to be of a sexual nature. But if we're specifically talking about sexual arousal in this book, then that's what the focus is on, you know? But in terms of arousal, you can get aroused by different things. It doesn't have to be sexual. But yeah, for me personally, I don't experience any sexual attraction, any sexual desire, only arousal. And it's not a sex drive because I have no drive for sex whatsoever. So these things can be quite simple or can be quite complicated depending on which way you look at it. But however you feel as an asexual, you are valid. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's mind and emotions are different. And we all react to things differently. And we all feel things differently, you know? And you can't help what your body does. It does what it does, right? And it's a bit of an insult when some people think that asexuals, the ones that don't want, like, or need sex, that there's something wrong with us biologically and that we can't physically have sex, which usually is not the case. It's just that we're not wired that way. Our brain thinks differently, our being is different, and we're not into the sex thing usually. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's okay if you do have a libido and it's not aimed at anyone. It's all right if you experience arousal. It's all right if you are different to the majority out there in the world. It's good to be different, you know? If we're all the same, life would be so friggin' boring. Don't forget to grab your copy of Asexual Perspectives on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Waterstones, Blackwell's or Walmart. And yeah, enjoy. I'll see you soon on the next video live stream. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell icon. Thank you for being in chat today, Anarch, and I'll see you soon next video live stream. Lots of love. Bye.